Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, man. I hope everybody is out there doing well. Man, staying safe. I said I made it through another work day. Thank goodness. Hope you guys made it through a work day, which is either at home or if you're going to work, man. But I hope everybody is happy and healthy and, not driving each other crazy. Tonight, man, my viewers, I have my boy, Mr. Ishman, Adam Ishman, the product specialist from Brunswick. You guys shoot your questions, man. It's I know you guys got a lot of questions, and I'm sure he'll be happy to answer them. So, man, just be ready, man. So I'm bringing my boy here to the screen, Mr. Ishman. What's going on, Ab?
Hey everybody,
How's
how are
everything,
you?
man?
Oh
I can't.
man, it's interesting. Let's just say that it's 8 o'clock here and it's raining and still cold outside. So Michigan weather isn't the greatest in April.
Nah, I bet you missed that Vegas weather, don't you?
Well, yeah, going from 90 to 30, it's a significant difference.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, right now here at home, LA, it is probably 75 still, and it's 5 o'clock, nice and sunny. So I can't complain.
And it's the cleanest air you've ever seen in LA in your entire life.
Right. Clean. Okay. But no, man.
Uh,
Hey, glad to have you.
cleaner than normal. Let's just say that.
Yes, cleaner than normal. Yes, but people still not listening. They still keeping their butts and trying to go outside and everything else. So that irritates me.
No, I get it. I had to go to the store today to pick up some stuff, and I felt like I was a burden to society going out and getting some food. Everyone's looking at you real funny when you go into Walmart and there's like four
Oh,
other
yeah.
people in the building.
Yes. But it's so funny. Everybody look at you funny, but they look just like you do. They got a mask on and they sitting there staring at you. And I'm like, what are you staring at? You know?
Yeah, it's just weird. It's an odd thing.
Oh, big time. Dude, let's get to it, man. Hey, I know the viewers, well, I know, at least I know, I want to know. Where were you born?
Oh no, I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I grew up about a half hour north of Pittsburgh. So I've spent, well, the first 25 years of my life were in Pennsylvania. Uh, I went to Penn State, moved to Vegas in '05, and that's that. So I was in Vegas for the last 15 years, moved to Michigan here about 2 months ago. So I've been a little bit everywhere.
Okay. So when did this bowling start? So, did you start out in Pennsylvania?
We got a delay.
Did you hear me? Uh-oh. Where you at, Adam? You hear me now?
Give me 1 sec, man.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you. That's the problem. You there yet?
I hear you.
No. This is awesome. Good start. This is a good start right here.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
I hear you.
Technical difficulties here in Michigan. I can't hear you.
I hear everything.
I can answer Mason's question though. What's the
Okay.
most cash you've walked out with at a tournament? Well, let's see here. The most that I can ever recall at one time in cash was roughly 20,000, and that was the New Year's Day tournament at Carolier Lanes many, many, many moons ago. That was probably 2003 or four. It was a good year. That was when the left was bad. So that was the year that they let the righties win some money, and that was it was a good year. I finished, I think, third or fourth in the tournament, but the brackets were very favorable.
So my question is, do you bowl for brackets or do you bowl to win the tournament?
Still can't hear you, man.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with Adam in there. Can everybody hear me? Mason, can you hear me? Diesel,
Technical difficulties still.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got Ari Wilson. Where'd you come
What is going on here? I got no sound, bro.
We hear you perfectly fine.
I got all kind of mug in front of me. I see you, but I can't hear you.
We hear you. I hear you perfectly fine. That's so funny. Can y'all hear? Can y'all hear Adam?
Oh, what the hell is going on here?
Let's see here.
Can we start this over? Is there a way to like leave and come back?
Yes. Oh man. Okay, we're
yeah, hard to believe. Mason's correct. Hard to believe I'm having technical issues. I do staff meetings about once a month, and every time there's something wrong.
Oh man, let's see here. We're gonna kick him from the studio. Kick him from the studio.
I got.
I don't know what's going on with him, but this is a I have no idea what he did. So I don't know what's something. Clearly, I apologize. Can you hear us?
I got you now. At least I hope so.
There we go. All right. So here you go. We got a question from your man Ari.
What would I average with two hands? Less than Ari.
Less than Ari. So if
Ari Wilson.
Hey, so if you bowl with two hands and Ari Wilson bowl with one hand, can you beat him?
Well, I know I could hook it more than him. Then that's I don't think so. I'm not very good with two hands. I probably could average about 150. As long as there's a spare involved, I have no chance.
Have you seen Ari throw the ball with one hand?
I have in video, and he's videoed me throwing with two hands. So there is video evidence of me throwing it with two hands. I think I made a 5-pin.
Ari Wilson, when are you going to come on the show? How about that?
Hey, yeah, that's the next question. When's Ari going to show up?
Right. He's been hiding. He don't even answer my phone calls anymore.
Well, you can have a special guest and get Harvey on there at the same time.
Hey, if I could say, you know what, it's so crazy. We can add multiple people on here. I think we should get Ari and Harvey all at the same time.
I'm telling you. Why not?
Hey, Saturday, Ari and Harvey Johnson. I'm calling you guys out. Be down. So you tell Papa, Saturday, Ari and Harvey Johnson is going to be going live with Bowtie. Hey, but like, guys, shoot the questions, man. I'm sure Adam will.
I'll do my best to answer whatever you got.
There you go. Oh, you missed that. You missed that question already, Dan. We answered that one. Hey, did you grow up with both parents?
Did I grow up with what?
Both of your parents.
Yes, I did. Well, kinda. My parents split when I was 12. So I lived with my mom most of the time, but my dad was the one that took me to, well, before I could drive, he was the one that took me to anything that I wanted to bowl. So my dad was the bowler of the group. So he ended up being the guy that kind of taught me how to do it and go out and do my thing whenever I was available to do things. So that was kind of our time together.
Okay. That's what's up there. That's it. Is my audio better? There we go. Hey, I know you had some good outings. What the hell? I know you have. Now,
Oh, it's your turn for technical difficulties.
right. I think it's you.
It could be Michigan. It's just plain Michigan.
Uh-oh, let's see. What is your most memorable? Oh, here go another question for you. What is your most memorable tournament that you won?
Oh, that's kind of a no-brainer. That's 2011 USBC Nationals. We were lucky enough to win Team All events that year in Reno. So that's there's nothing better than an eagle. So I'm very proud to say that I actually have one.
Okay, here's another question for you. Do you design your own layout?
Not really. I mean, everybody's layouts are specific to how they throw it and how they, what they're looking for as far as specific reactions. I'm not a real big layout guy. I do believe that adding more variables to the game makes it harder. So I do simple layouts. It's just a pin up, a pin down, and a weaker layout depending on strength of the core. And yeah, that's really about it. Once you find what works, you're really not going to deviate from that. That's just been my philosophy for a long time, and it works. I mean, you can change the surface of the ball and make the ball do different things more than with a layout.
Okay.
Dave Wadka, the most memorable win has to be SNBT doubles with me. There is no doubt. We'll have to go back and redo it. You just can't cut your hair until then, since we're in Michigan and we're growing out our quarantine hair. I want to bowl with the mullet.
Are you going to grow a mullet out?
I'm getting there. I mean, it's starting to get there.
Hey, dude, I'll give you $20, Adam, to grow a full mullet, bro.
Depends on how long this quarantine is.
Oh no, you just got. It doesn't matter. Quarantine is over. You're supposed to go.
I just gotta buck the trend and make it a thing again.
Yes.
I have the privilege of bowling with a guy that has probably one of the best mullets in bowling back in the day. His name was Dan Bach. And if you go back to old high roller videos or old high roller, best mullet you've ever seen. I always said there was power in the mullet just because of how he bowled.
Wow.
How am I holding up? I'm good. Good to see you on here, John. Hope all things are well with the shops and getting everything set up for the fourth one. Things are good. It's we're on day, I don't even know, of quarantine. It's got to be in the 30s, but yeah, things are good. Can't complain too much. Once the weather gets a little nicer, it'll be really good to go outside a little bit.
Oh yeah. What is your favorite ball?
Favorite hammer ball? Well, Dave Wadka would know this. It would be the Arson Low Flare. I think Dave gave me a whole bunch of them back in the day. It seemed like I was drilling one of those all the time. That was at one point in time, I feel like I had 7 or 8 of them in my arsenal, just because it was kind of like the game breaker type ball. That it was just that steady, controllable. I could use it on pretty much anything type ball. It was the first ball out of the bag.
Okay. Have you ever seen a female left or right?
There's a few. Junior Gold the last couple of years. We've in the Ebonite days we ran very large demos for the Junior Gold national tournament every year, and we would always see 1 or 2 young females that were starting to bowl with 2 hands. It's definitely becoming more popular with the younger kids. The younger they get, the more you're seeing the 2-handed game come into play.
Yeah, you can bowl any pro. Who would it be and why?
this could go a lot of ways, depending on what we're talking about. If I could bowl any pro bowler, well, the first one, if I could bowl doubles with the pro bowler, it would have to be Jason Couch, just because of Jason and I have been friends for a long time, and we obviously have a pretty good relationship working together at Ebonite for a couple years, and he's always one that I like to pick on a lot. So it would always be entertaining to be able to pick on your friend and bowl at the same time. That would, I mean, on that realm, that would definitely be the guy. But if I was to, like, dream scenario, if you're going back in time, man, probably Dave Ozio. Dave Ozio, I grew up watching Dave, and he was probably the best technician there was. Just because your name's Dave doesn't mean you're the same as Dave Ozio, Dave Wadka. But but yeah, I mean, Dave Ozio was. I just loved watching him bowl back in the day. I grew up in the generation of taping the Saturday morning shows and going back after league and watching them. And he was one of the guys I always tried to emulate.
Okay.
I failed. 40 years later, I failed. I don't throw it like him. Who was my vote for PWBA and PBA Bowl of the Year? Well, PBA Bowl of the Year is Belmo. There's no question. When you win as much as he does and makes all the shows in the majors, I mean, he's just a no-brainer. He's just the best bowler right now. PWBA, you got to go with Shannon. Shannon's about as good as it gets. She's the GOAT right now when it comes to PWBA bowling. She's the hardest working, and it shows. I mean, she definitely outperforms most bowlers.
Okay. Stephanie O'Keefe, Bill Rogers said.
The magical Shafani show.
Hey, back in the day, what was your affiliation with Logo Infusion and K coaching?
Well, first started when I first moved to Vegas. I met a guy named Phil Placco, and Phil was a pretty good bowler. I got to know him just from going to the pro shop, just hanging out. When I moved to Vegas, I was looking for a job, and he was like, "Hey, I know this guy. You know, I work with him. His name's Ken. I'd really like you to go meet him." Okay, well, let me know. So we went and had dinner one night, and I was offered a part-time job, and from there, it went a lot of ways from there. But 6 months later, we had a second pro shop that I helped operate at Flamingo. The Flamingo and Jones shop was the first one. The second shop was at Pecos and Wigwam. I helped run that shop for a while, and then I did the training center. We had a training facility that was on-lane coaching. I ran that for a year or two, and then casino shops came about, and I ran the Suncoast for a while. Then I've just been a little bit everywhere, but Ken and I have had a really good relationship for a long time, and I was part owner there for a long time. I've seen a little bit of everything over the years of from 2005 to 2015, and the good days, the bad days, and they're still there doing their thing, and we unfortunately parted ways a couple years ago, but it seems like we're doing okay.
That's what's up there, man. How did you get connected with EBI, and what was your first position?
Well, if you go back to the K&K days, we were the operators of the Nationals booth between the Columbia, Ebonite, and Track brands. So I helped run the booth there for a few years and got to know a lot of the guys with Ebonite, and with our business relationships, things seemed to go very well. And I always got along with a lot of guys that are Dave Walker, Sean Morris, Mike Snellbaker, Mike Judy. They've all been influencers in my life over the years. And, when I decided to part ways at K&K, I got a phone call very, very quickly after that. And, luckily for me, it was Ebonite calling me. And, from there I started about 6 weeks after I quit K&K. And I was the district sales manager of the Southwest region, which was Dave Watka's former job. Yes, Dave Waka, I am forever grateful for you. Because if it wasn't for what Dave did, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I do owe Dave a whole lot. And I did his job for a while in the Southwest, and then about a year into it, there was some consolidation in the territories, and I ended up handling the whole West Coast, and that became basically my life for 4 years until Ebonite was consolidated and acquired by the Brunswick brands a couple months ago. Why is Brandon Grant throwing 900 global balls and not the brands of Brunswick? I don't know. Why are you? Can we make a deal here? Can we talk down the road? Are you happy?
Hey, man, I had an opportunity and I jumped on it. Adam said I wasn't throwing the ball good enough.
I have no comment for that.
Hey, Mason. Adam said if I would have won the New Mexico Open, I would have been good to go.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it.
See. No, man.
No, dude, opportunities come in many ways, and it's all good. I'm very happy for you, and obviously it's been a good change for you, and things are great. So again, if you ever want to try something down the road, give me a call.
Y'all hear that? Look, y'all hear that right there. No, hey, I was told you love to throw pin down equipment. Why is that? What does it do for your game?
So I would say the easiest way to explain it is it's a little more controllable for me. So with how I throw the ball and what I like to see the ball a little slower down the lane. I don't like to see a big change of direction. So with pin down balls, they reduce the flare. You can actually change the differential of the ball to be less, so the balls will flare less. And I just see a little more consistent reaction that way. Everybody's a little different. I mean, again, it's just based off of how you throw it. It's just pin down balls for me are just usually what I throw, and I throw them almost 85% of the time.
Yeah, I remember seeing you throw the ball in Palm Springs and you couldn't miss.
That was a pin down ball. That was a Futura. It was good. It definitely it was very favorable for those 9 games. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you threw the ball well. I give it to you. Let's see here. How are you and the family settling down in your new home, and how are you settling down in your new position?
Well, first we'll start with the first one of settling into our new home. It's smaller than what we had. We sold our house in Vegas and moved to about half the size of apartment in Grand Haven, Michigan. Right now, it's kind of funny. I was telling someone the other day, we moved here in February. We've been here for almost 60 days, been quarantined for about 40 of them, and I was on the road for 15 of them doing seminars. So I've technically been here for about 5 days. Something like that, roughly between 5 and 10 days that I've actually been able to go out and about and see what's going on and not feel obligated to move and throw boxes away and all that good stuff. So it's been quite a transition. It's in the last 4 or 5 months. A lot of things have changed between Ebonite being sold and me being able to move here and take this opportunity, which leads me into the job, and the job's been great. It's one thing I will say about Brunswick is the people are awesome. The people are very, very friendly. They care. They are concerned about what's going on in your life, and they want you to do a good job, but they're more concerned about you as a person than anything else, which is great. It's more about a family than a business, which again is where I grew up. You know, I grew up in a small family-owned business, so it's nice to see those types of things carried on into a bigger role. But luckily for me, I probably had the easiest transition when it comes to the job, because really it's almost the exact same job. I handle the exact same pro shops. I handle the exact same people. It's a little bigger, you know, because there's more people involved now that there's 7 brands instead of 4.
Right.
But overall, it's been great. You know, I'm very, very happy and very humbled that, you know, they wanted me to do the same thing. I guess I did a good job. I don't know.
Hey, evidently you did a great job, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very interesting, you know, just to be able to get. It's almost like a second chance, you know, because you really don't get those opportunities to do what you love again with the exact same people again. And I know some of my staff and some of the pro shops have been very happy that you know, that they still get to deal with me.
Look at this guy. This guy's hilarious.
We're gonna have to, Dave. We're gonna have to call Mike, Judy, and Brad and make sure they know that they have ruined their lives once again. Oh, the NFL draft when nobody's there.
Right.
They're all in quarantine somewhere.
Hey, there you go. Do you have any Magenta Destiny stashed away?
Yes. And here's the deal. This is for Greg Thompson personally. When you beat me, when you can actually beat me one time, you may be able to get one.
Wow.
Because Mr. Thompson and I have bowled together or bowled against each other, I don't even know how long. Since we were kids. And he grew up in Dayton, Ohio. So Trotwood, I believe, is correct there, Mr. Thompson. But we've known each other for almost 25 years. So it's and I don't think he's ever beat me.
In 25 years, he's never beat you. Hey, Greg, just get off of it, man. Just let it go.
I'll be right there.
We've had a couple good ones over the years. It's good. Greg and I go way back.
Yeah, way back, and he's still losing. It's an issue.
He's got me in shoe size. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, absolutely. Man, hey, so with being in your type of position, how hard is it? Because I'm sure you have friends that has their hands up asking for things.
Yeah, it's part of the job. The hardest part of the job, there's a lot that goes in behind the scenes. A lot of people see, you know, the job as going to demos and being out and shaking hands and kissing babies and all that kind of stuff, which is great. You know, it's part of the job, but there's a lot more to it when it comes to the business side of things that a lot of people don't see. And one of the hardest things that you have to deal with is when it comes to free balls or people that, like you said, have their hand out, people that genuinely want to help you or the people that are looking for free stuff. You have to really balance the two, because it's very, very difficult to know who's trying to just get free stuff and people that are really trying to help you or trying to help the brands or have your best interest. It's very difficult.
Have you lost any friends through that transition, being with EBI, coming to Brunswick? Have you always close down?
No, I don't think so. You know, I try and keep my business, and my personal, and that's also another very difficult part of this job is, you know, people. I have relationships with a lot of people, and you know, I'm very, very friendly with a lot of people, and it makes it very difficult to understand, you know, what's business and what's personal. I try and, you know, make sure everybody understands that, you know, I'm still like, I may not give you something, but we can still go out and have a drink later. You know, it's just that's really the easiest way to explain it.
Wow. So you're going to say, no, I'm not giving you a ball, but we can go have some drink.
Hey, man, like it's just one of those things. It's very difficult. Business is business. Like, I'll buy you a drink, man. That's no problem. But, you know, sometimes I have to do what's right for the company. we're running a business just like everybody else is, and we got to do what's right for the company sometimes. And unfortunately, we're not in the business to give away stuff. We're in the business to sell product.
Yeah, I agree. So now that people know you buy drinks, here they come. Look.
Oh yeah. Oh, Craig Elliott. Yeah, I'll buy you a drink. Virtual drinks for everybody.
Hey, cheers. Look. There you go. Uh-oh. See, hold on. Let's see. Wait, Mason is Mason.
That's my episode. Do you have all this added production value? No, Mason made everything through the roof. All the all the ratings are just all crazy now. So everybody wants to be a part of the Bowtie show.
Seriously, man.
No, yeah, like I told you earlier, I think it's cool what you're doing. I think it's you're trying to have a voice out when there's really nothing going on, and you're getting some great people to come on and talk about bowling and kind of escape from real life for a minute, and that's great. It's a good thing to have those outlets, and I hope it continues into the future.
Hey, that's my real talk. I'm going to keep this going, and I really enjoy it. So I had another question for you. With the merger, how many emails have you got? They were just like, Adam, what's going on? Am I going to get cut? How do you, facilitate those?
I remember it like it was yesterday, because it was a very shocking day, and Dave can attest to this entire thing that, we found out that day. The day that everything went public was the day that we found out that this was going to happen. We found out about 3 hours before it became public. So it was very shocking to know that you didn't have a job anymore as of that day. And, you touch a lot of, in bowling, we all are family, and, we're all very small. It's a very big group, but it's also a very small group at the same time. And the second that it went public, I almost wanted to shut my phone off, because it was so uncontrollable that you couldn't talk to anybody. You almost couldn't because the first you would talk to someone, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You couldn't keep up. You want to tell everybody what's going on, but you can't. And unfortunately, it was just too much. And it took about 2 or 3 days. And Dave actually called me. He was one of the guys that I picked up the phone. And I said, Dave, I'm not answering the phone for everybody, but I will answer the phone for you. And we talked for a little bit, and it was very, very weird. And, since the merger and being that, I didn't have a job for about a month and a half. And, in that time, it was very quiet. But when it became public that I was an employee of Brunswick, it was the same thing. I mean, it got crazy again. But it was a good crazy. It was a good crazy, because now, everybody's happy that, I landed on my feet, and, those types of things, which is, again, it's very humbling to know that people care. I just do the best I can and try and help everybody the best way I know how. And I guess I made an impact again.
Yeah. With all the friendships that you made, and you're basically said you're doing the same position, how does people feel now? Are they comfortable? Like, I'm feeling okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some unsettling. It was very odd how it went down. How everything became very just boom, we're done. And it was shocking to the industry. It was shocking to everybody involved, everybody that had any piece of the action, whether it was pro shop guys or staff guys or just friends or anybody that knew what was going on. It was a blow. It was a huge shock. But now that things have calmed down a little bit, and we've got some things in place, and we're working through the kinks, and Brunswick found out just literally the same day as we did. None of them knew either. So that's how quick it was. Shocking to everybody. Ron Bragg, who was my boss, was on vacation when he found out. So that's no one knew. So it became very, very crazy very quickly, trying to figure out how to bring everything in house. And and you've seen the fruits of that labor with, there's balls in every brand now. The staff were all continued on. Pro Shop Gold was continued on into the Brunswick Rewards Plus program. It's just there's a lot of things that you're merging. You're kind of merging Coke and Pepsi, from a if you're comparatively speaking from like the another industry. It's very difficult to do. So we've been working very hard, and just to be part of the process has been fun. Just because I've always liked trying to challenge myself and be a part of the business and understanding the business a little more, and it's been fun. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there one day at a time. The virus has definitely slowed things down a little bit, but we're doing okay. What 3 releases from Hopdown before the shutdown in November do you think we're going to?
Did you think there was going to be the biggest hits?
Well, anything that says Black Widow on it's going to do okay. That may have been one. I unfortunately, because of the timing, I really didn't get to see a whole lot of the products after that. We usually do everything in December, so I get to know what's going on for the next couple months. But unfortunately, I didn't know a whole lot of the balls, but I did know there may have been a Black Widow shortly after that acquisition.
Okay. Look, now that you live in Michigan, is there a tournament you look forward to competing in that wouldn't be on the West Coast?
Do I even bowl anymore? When I moved here, I was very excited about bowling again. Because again, this was like a second chance, and I really haven't bowled a whole lot in the last probably 3 or 4 years. I'll dip my toe in and do my thing, and that's really about it. But I really haven't bowled a whole lot, competitively over. Yeah, it's been quite a few years now. So hopefully, I can get out and about and see what's going on. But there's, this is the Midwest. There's always something to bowl.
That's what I hear.
We're 2.5 hours from Detroit. We're 3 hours from Chicago. There's a lot of things to bowl. If Dave would, be so nice to go bowl a doubles tournament with me at some point in time, maybe we might actually go compete in something together. Who knows? It's one of those things that I'm excited about bowling again, but I don't know how much that's actually going to happen.
All right. If you put you versus Dave Waka on a lane, 1-ball challenge, 3 games, who wins?
Well, if it's a ball speed thing, I win every time. Dave throws at 3 miles an hour, but
is it because he's older?
Yes, but he's way more in shape and trying to bowl PBA 50 coming up, so he's going to get the nod pretty much every time. That's just what Dave's better than me. Period.
Hey, don't give him that credit.
I know the game. I know where I play, where I'm at. I'm a nobody anymore, so I just I'm too busy peddling balls and taking care of pro shops and doing the best I can to try and grow the sport in a different way.
Okay. Moving forward to, I don't know if you can really talk about it, but moving forward to new contracts, do you feel like you guys are going to kind of keep the same limit as far as bowling contracts that you have, or are you guys going to cut?
We're going to do our best to try and keep everything as status quo as possible. Yes, there will be some consolidation is the easiest way to explain it. But I'm doing the best we can to try and make everybody that was part of the team back on the team again. The timing is a little weird because contracts for Ebonite were actually done at the end of this month. and then contracts for Brunswick are usually done in June. So we're trying to figure this all out, and the virus has kind of screwed a little bit of that up as well. So we're in the process of working on that right now. But yeah, we're going to do our best to try and keep everything as similar as possible.
Okay. Do you think it's going to be challenging pushing quality pieces of equipment across 7 brands?
Well, every brand has its own customer base. So in Mason, since it's Mason asking the question, because he's on Hammer staff and has the ability to throw all 7 brands, yes, it's going to be difficult for the guys that can throw all 7 brands. But there are some loyalists out there for every brand, whether it's Columbia or Brunswick or whatever. There's always going to be loyalists for every brand, and we're trying to not really cross promote, but we want to keep everything similar or separate, but all in the same family. It's a difficult balancing act. Yes, there will probably be some balls that slip through the cracks that man, this ball's really good, but it just doesn't sell as well as it should.
Right.
That's happened forever. That's just not a 7 brand thing currently. That's an industry thing. I think that's just part of what goes on in the bowling business, because there's a lot of good balls that just you think it's great, and they just don't perform in sales as well as you think they should.
Okay. What do you see as far as being on tour? Do you feel that a Hammer staffer using a Brunswick ball, even though it's still 7 brands, do you feel like people are like, oh, he's Hammer staff, but he's throwing Brunswick? Is that like a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing.
Why?
Because they have the ability to use the equipment that's best suited for what's on the lane and that particular time. So if we limited them to just hammer balls, for an example, we're not doing them the service to try and be able to use what we have as a company. So we want to make it as a company, not silos.
Okay. Because like I said, I know I've watched, some PBA tournaments, and I've seen, some people with Hammer or Columbia, but they're throwing something out of their,
But the brand on their shirt never changes. The brand, that's the biggest thing. So let's just take Tommy Jones for an example. So Tommy Jones has been on Ebonite staff for 20 years. It's always been Ebonite on his shirt. Well, he shot 300 on TV with a hammer ball and a Brunswick ball. But what do you know Tommy Jones as? An Ebonite guy.
Right.
So it really doesn't. The balls come and go. The brand doesn't. So it's very important to make sure that you're affiliating the person with the brand, and that's our job to do that. To try and make sure that you have a figurehead or a person that is branded under each thing, and those people in that brand are part of that brand. Not everybody knows that Brunswick makes 7 brands of balls. So you're really doing it as, hammer, like, for example, the Hammer is Hammer. Brunswick is Brunswick. They've been around for a long, long time.
Right.
There's a lot of Hammer loyalists. There's a lot of Brunswick loyalists. There's a lot of track loyalists. There's, whatever it may be. We're trying to sell balls to the masses. We're trying to sell balls to everybody. We're the exception to the rule, because everybody knows that there's only a couple people that make balls in our world,
right?
Not to the Joe public. So you try and keep it as the brand, not necessarily the company.
Hey, that's a good point. Favorite ball that you've thrown out of the Brunswick plant this year?
Well, there's 2. It would be like 1A and 1B. Uppercut, Brunswick uppercut is absolutely phenomenal. It is one of the best pieces that I've seen out of the plant. I know Mason really likes it. I know that it was very popular amongst our staff when the Ebonite guys could throw some of the Brunswick brands.
Right.
And then from a high performance standpoint, I know it's a little older, but the Conspiracy Pearl is a radical ball.
Yeah.
That's been a very, very popular ball for me. I haven't been able to bowl in a while, but it was one of those balls that I really, really liked. Oh, the magical question. Here it is. I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming.
Hey, I'm not a your thing person. I hate your thing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
When will purple hammers be made again? So you're assuming there's a when, not
Oh,
if.
are you playing with them?
I'm not saying anything. Purple hammers. Go find one. Go find a purple hammer from wherever you can find a purple hammer anymore. I can't tell you yes or no. There's things that I can't because there's things that are different between the manufacturing process, and we're working on trying to bridge that gap. Not that it's better or worse or different; it's just different. So the balls are made a little differently, and some of the cores that were made in Hopkinsville are currently not available to be made in Reynosa, but we're working on, again, bridging that gap. Randy Teitloff, who is a Brunswick employee now as well, was the head of R&D for Ebonite, and he's been heading up that project, trying to make sure everybody knows what's going on.
So why don't, since you're not golden anymore, why don't you give all your purple hammers up?
No, sir. I'm sorry. I don't have any.
That's hard to believe.
Believe it or not. I may have some old balls sitting around. I may have actually sorted them this morning since I have nothing better to do.
Okay, hey guys, go ask Ari Wilson. He has purple hammers. If y'all want one, Ari Wilson.
Jacob
Buttriff. Yes. Who else?
That I don't know. I know there's some floating around on the internet. There was some guys that, when November 15th happened and all this went down, there was some guys that swooped them all up. So they're out there. You just need to search and find them.
Yeah. So guys, I'm sure they are out there. And now that you can throw 7 brands, all those Brunswick people and Radical people, I'm sure they got a lot of those purple hammers.
So I will say, just to make sure to clarify, the Brunswick people that were original Brunswick people are not allowed to throw balls that were made in Kentucky. They're only allowed to make balls that were made in Mexico.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So the opposite is available for the Ebonite staffers because, when everything went down, they had no equipment. They had nothing coming out. So they started with nothing. So now that we have balls in all 7 brands, we're trying to do our best to fill the lines, but everything that was made in Kentucky can no longer be made at this second in the Brunswick facility, purely because it's a different ball. Regardless, you would have to go through USBC approval process again, all that stuff, because it's made in a different facility, regardless.
Right.
And that's sometimes that takes a while. USBC process is 21 to 28 days. So when you're talking about building a ball, like for example, the hammer balls, we made a ball in 74 days. From November 15th, it took 74 days to get a ball made and manufactured, and 28 of that was USBC approval. So that's how fast this came down the pipe.
Wow.
Usual process on making a ball is like anywhere from 10 to 18 months. So, you're talking significantly less time. So there was some real work put into that, and very, very quickly. And the redemptions were pretty good. The Redemption Solid and Redemption Pearl were the first balls out, and they've done very, very well.
How far do you stay away from the plant?
I'm about 20 minutes. Well, the plant, the plant's in Reynosa, Mexico, so it's a long ways away. But our office is in Muskegon, Michigan. I live in Grand Haven, which is the next town south, about 20 minutes from the facility.
Okay. All right. Hey, any other
LA traffic? There's nobody on Route 31.
So you get to work in 10 minutes now.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes for me to get there. there's 3 stoplights, something like that. 3, 1 exit.
Oh, hey, look, do you have another conference call with Dave Walker?
I don't, but I do, but I don't. I can be late for that one.
Hey, Dave Walker.
I'm not participating in that one. I'm just hanging out.
Look, Dave Walker, when can I get you on the show? Talk to Dave for me, Adam. Tell him, come on the show.
Well, when he invites me over to look at his memorabilia, I will I'll put a bug in his ear.
There you go. But no, Adam, hey, dude, I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate everything. It's like always, man. Since the day I met you, you've always been a stand-up guy.
No, that's, you know what, I do my best to try and take care of everybody, and again, that's, you know, I'm very thankful for everything that bowling's done for me, you know, over the years, because I mean, I've pretty much lived my whole life in some way through it. So, you know, I'm just trying to give back and try and make the sport grow, and you know, I want it to be here for a long time and thrive. And right now, we're all going to need the help as best as we can. You know, coming out of this is going to be a little scary for pro shops and bowling centers, and support your local guys, because they're going to need it.
Absolutely. Tomorrow we got your girl on here, Stacey Watson.
Oh, the lefty.
Yeah, I hate lefties.
Are you the president of the IHL club?
Absolutely.
Oh, jeez. There's a lot of presidents in that club. There's like it's a big board.
Look, matter of fact, I might make me another symbol that just says right across the middle right there, #IHL for tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that or not. She might come up the road and take care of business with you.
Hey, but no, Adam, dude, keep up the great job, man. I know all your people that you take care of. They love you, man. I hear nothing but great things, man. So,
I appreciate it. It's just it's a lot of work, but in the end, it's all worth it, just to make people better bowlers and promote the game.
Absolutely, dude. Hey, be safe. Get to your other call, man, and I'm sure I'll see you sometime soon.
It's with Dave Walker and Parker Bone. It's not that exciting,
dude. That is exciting. And tell Parker, hey, can he come on? Put a bug in his ear.
We'll do a 3-way conference call with Dave Walker and Parker Bone.
Hey,
here we go.
You, Dave, and Parker. I'm all in for it.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
All right, man. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks again. Keep doing what you're doing. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt, brother.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
All right.
Hey, guys, that was my buddy there, Adam Ishman, product specialist for Brunswick. Like I said, it's basically still the same title he was when he was with EBI. But I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate you guys supporting. Tomorrow, I got my girl, Hammer Chick, Stacey Watson. No, I'm not going to be nice. So just be prepared, because IHL is going to be on the screen somewhere. The president. But you know, it's all love, Stace. So, hey, guys, tune in tomorrow. For anybody that's part of the Brunswick brand, come out and support your girl. Come out and support her. I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you guys supporting me. Let's go ahead and share it. Share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Hey, and let's keep it going. All right? So, hey, you guys be safe. Listen to what's going on. And, man, let's hurry up and get back to this bowling alley, but let's get there and be safe. All right. Love you guys, man. Peace out. Bowtie out of here.